Hello and welcome to episode 152 of the Perth to Paisley podcast. In episode 151, we previewed two trips to Tayside and hoped that Hearts would pick up back-to-back wins against Dundee at Dens Park and St Johnstone at McDermott Park. I'm Adam Kennedy, and thankfully, joining me to discuss the Jambos doing exactly that and taking 6 points from 6 is Daniel McIver. What's happening, McIver?
Oh, we're just the best team in the world now, aren't we? This is basically what's happening. I'm good. I'm doing well. We're recording this earlier in the day. I'm just back from work, but we thought we'll get this done, so we've got it out ahead of Airdrie. For people watching on YouTube, I might be confused why it looks like the heavens have opened and I've got a big angelic light on me. It's because I've got two vivariums here that have lights that normally are off by when we record. But so if you're a bit confused, that's why. If you just listen to this, you don't know what I'm fucking talking about. Generally, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. Sadly, no angelic lights here.
Shocking.
It's fairly dim. I think we need to remember that I'm staying on the west coast, or should I say the wet coast. So yeah, the sunlight's just a rarity. Full stop. It makes me sad. But yeah, I mean that'll be that'll be quite the culture shock for those that have never been to Airdrie on Sunday.
Yep.
Yikes! I'm heading along to that. I'm actually looking forward to it.
So am I.
But yeah, I think we'll do well to come back and
Yeah.
back in one piece. Um, as I briefly alluded to, we've got two games to chat about. The first of which is a 5-goal thriller, and the second is perhaps the most dull and least entertaining affair that you could possibly ever think of,
Yep.
such as this football club. So, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to chatting more about the first game than I am the second. But before we get into speaking about defeating Dundee at Dens, we're going to go around the grounds as we always do and chat about other goings on within the cinch. What are you so chipper about?
This is one of the bits I'm most excited for in this episode, to speak about the around the grounds and one of the results in particular.
Okay. Starting on Saturday, Saturday the 3rd of February, the early kickoff saw Aberdeen and Celtic, two of last season's top three, go head-to-head at Pittodrie, and the league leaders were held by the then managerless Dons in a one-each draw. There were four. I see what you're all into now. I forgot all about this, I'll be honest. There were four matches that kicked off at 3 o'clock. I was going to kick off with one of them, but I'll keep that to the very end. Motherwell and Kilmarnock played out a dull one-each draw at Fir Park. Rangers got the better of Livingston by 3-0 at Ibrox. The curtain is beginning to come down on Livingston's stay in the Premiership. And St Johnstone, before we took them on at midweek at McDermott, nicked a 1-goal success up in the Highlands against Ross County, defeating the Staggies 1-0 up in Dingwall, like I say. However, the one that I'm assuming that you are the most chipper about was Hibernian and St Mirren playing one another at Easter Road, and the Buddies battering Hibs by 3-0, 3 first half goals, which left Nick Montgomery, all the Hibs hierarchy, and the few fans that remained to the final whistle very, very angry. What did you make of the other? Let's just be honest. What did you make of the Hibs game? Because you don't really care about the others in comparison to that.
Who gives a shit? In summary, Livingston are relegated. Celtic are going to not win the league, and Brendan Rodgers is going to get sacked.
Interesting. You think he'll get sacked before he walks?
Yeah, genuinely, because he'll want that payout. He'll want the payout, which I understand. Like, I'm not digging him for it. I'd do the same.
Nice.
Yeah, I was worried about St Johnstone's result because I was like, oh God, they're hitting form just in time for us to travel. And then Motherwell, I was just kind of like, okay.
Good result for us.
Very good result for us. I'll absolutely take it. However, yes, the main focal point. It was just incredible. You see that out, because obviously I'm watching the Dundee game, our game, I'm not paying attention, but watching it with Hearts TV commentary, and Laurie was very keen to keep us updated with what was happening over in Leith. So as a result, I was just sat then going, oh, I follow quite a few Hibs fans on Twitter, Chris Finn, Duncan Mackay, the Terrace lot. I wonder what they're saying. And it was just wall to wall. This is the worst since Butcher. This is atrocious. It's the worst half performance like they've ever seen at Easter Road. Just insane. Then you watch the highlights on Sports Scene, because Sports Scene became like the best show ever last Saturday. And it's just
a program we would never criticize.
No, never. But some of the goals, like the way they conceded the goals was even funny. There was no one there at the end to criticize, and just great, great viewing.
You know it's bad. Like I don't read too much into kind of player ratings and what have you. But when I did see that the Edinburgh Evening News,
That's
whoever had written the piece, gave somebody a 2 out of 10.
Ellie Yuan got a 2 with the tagline, "A performance to end a career," which is great.
That essentially speaks volumes. Um, as I said briefly there, that was pretty much the perfect weekend results wise. I
Yep.
mean, I know St Mirren obviously win, and that's not the best, but you just can't not laugh at Hibs getting spanked at Easter Road.
It's the best. It's the best that even if you get beat, it's like, oh well, at least there's that to fall back on.
However, you spoke about Laurie in commentary, and let's just say that whilst we were simultaneously laughing at Hibs, we were somewhat frustrated at our own viewing for a good chunk of this game. There was one forced change from the victory over Aberdeen at Tynecastle as the ill Stephen Kingsley made way for Toby Civic at the back. That meant our Hearts lined up in a 4-2-3-1 as follows. Xander Clark in goal, back four of Dexter Lembikisa, Toby Civic, Frankie Kent and Alex Cochrane. Callum Neuenhoff and Benny Beningame in front of the back four with Yutaro Oda on one side, Alan Forrest on the other and George Grant supporting Lauren Shankland. Nice to see us not tinker too much with a winning team, McIver. Obviously, that one enforced change, but the rest of it, 10 players without changes.
And I feel like we're now getting at the stage where the team almost starts to pick itself. There's only a
Yeah.
couple of positions where you start to be like, oh, and kind of the reason you're going, oh, who plays there is because we've got so many good players in the areas. You're not going, oh, for fuck's sake, we've got to play so and so because there's no one else there. You're looking at the centre half areas and you're thinking, well, Sibic came in for this, but Halkett's available. Kai Rolls is coming back soon. With the centre mids, you've got Benny and Neuenhoff doing pretty well together, but Devlin's coming back. And there's just, it feels like we've got a squad where everyone can play a part finally, which is something that we rarely have had.
What are the kind of positions that are still up for debate in your mind? Because to me, one of them's perhaps on the flank. I feel like
Yeah, I would
Alan
agree.
Forrest has pretty much nailed down that
Yeah.
spot now. But Yutaro Oda and Kenneth Vargas, you can't really
Yeah, it's
pick on
interchangeable
one for
between them.
definite. Yeah. Yeah.
And then honestly, and it's such a weird thing to say because we will get into it. He's done great again this week, kinda. But every Hearts fan is just like, so when's Craig Gordon coming back into the team? Even though, like, I saw a stat where it was like, I think Xander Clark kept 11 clean sheets this season. It's like,
Well,
imagine
yeah.
being Xander Clark, like, I'm going to go to Hearts, keep 11 clean sheets, and we'll be 12 points clear in third. And every fan will be like, can't wait until you're replaced, to be honest, Xander. But there's no, you can't just now. Like, Xander
But
is undroppable in the league.
and see, like that move when it happened, he knew what he was getting himself into. It
Yeah.
was a case of needing a club, and it's decent competition for both club and country.
It's just so
So,
ridiculous though, because even if it was any other keeper, you'd be like, oh yeah, like they're good, but Xander Clark's doing really well. It's like, no, you had to arrive at the time where we have literally my favorite football player of all time is your competition. So I'm kind of like, Xander, you could keep a clean sheet for the rest of the season in every game and still kind of be like, can we put CG back in, please? And that's not fair to Xander Clark at all. So fair play to him for still playing well. But he didn't really play
abs-
well in this game.
absolutely. Listen. I didn't think they did too badly, but we'll get into chatting about it. Like I say, I think that would have been the starting 11 that most of us would have picked. First halves are becoming a real issue, aren't they?
Well, I feel like this is the least example of that because I thought we played well in the first half. I thought both teams for 90 minutes played well.
Or sorry, let me rephrase. Like first halves generally, perhaps a sluggish start in this game. Would that be
So
fair?
I think it was like the opening 5 minutes, I was like, oh, we're getting the ball and we're actually doing
Frantic.
something. This
Yeah.
is interesting. And then for about 25 minutes, it was like, we haven't even really done a lot anymore. But yes, generally your point stands, especially when we will get to the next game we're speaking
Oh
about.
God, yeah, that's where it's more applicable. I should have saved it for then. I'm sorry.
First halves, if there's like, I cannot imagine anybody being against Naismith right now,
No.
right? I cannot imagine it. But as Naismith himself says, constructive criticism would be like, can we start playing before we go back in at halftime? Can we just tell them that we're playing 2 second halves today, lads? So just try.
That's one of kind of two key points is first half performances need addressed, and can we find somebody that scores goals other than Lawrence Shanklin? Because he's just I'm worried that he's going to be out of the back spasm soon. We're just carrying this team.
One other person scored this week, so we've got him
true.
as well.
Yeah, one more than usual.
Yeah.
I mentioned Lawrence Shanklin there. He would have our first opportunity. Dexter Lembikisa receiving from Toby Civic on the right-hand side, looking to take on Owen Beck. What a signing that is again from Liverpool.
He's the best fullback in the league that isn't named Alex Cochrane.
Lembikisa passes inside to Lawrence Shanklin, who turns, works some space, and swivels, blazes his left-footed effort past Trevor Carson's right-hand post. And I mentioned Owen Beck. He would then dispossess Lembikisa on halfway and look to come forward, centering for Amadou Bakayoko, feeding it out wide to Luke McCowan. McCowan advances before again centering for Bakayoko, but his left-footed volley thankfully sails wide. McIver, it seemed like it was just to and fro for large parts of this game. A really good game, as we'll get into in the second half. But even despite the sluggish start, it was we'll go up and score, you'll go up and try and score.
Yeah. One of the main problems with the first halves in recent weeks have been that we've just looked either average or actively bad in first halves. Whereas against Dundee, it was like, I think we're playing well, we're just not taking chances.
Yeah, I feel like our response in this game was really good. I mean,
yeah,
like I say, it was really tit for tat in the early exchanges. Alan Forrest was bobbing and weaving through multiple Dundee bodies from the right hand side, looking to curl a left foot effort beyond Carson, but the goalkeeper gathered. However, we would fall behind on 26 minutes. And that man again, Jordan McGee.
He only scores against us.
What is that? Like a delicious delivery from Luke McCowan, it has to be said. And Jordan McGee, this is a centre forward's header. I mean, it is bullets past Xander Clark, quick as a flash. And after opening the scoring at Tynecastle, when the two teams met less than a fortnight ago, he does so once again. Who's to blame for this goal? Is it a really good goal or is it preventable? What's your thoughts?
I think it's both. I think it's a well-worked goal that is preventable. My main question is, why is Alan Forrest the one picking up somebody at a back post?
Great question. Because it's just an aerial mismatch.
I just don't understand. And when you watch, like the pitch side highlights back,
yes,
Frankie Kent turns and shouts, "Alan," as if like, oh yeah, it is actually Alan Forrest's responsibility. That's not a thing we should be in. That shouldn't be a tactic, basically. Let's hope that isn't the case.
But then if Jordan McGee's playing right wing back, like it is his man, but surely it's his man in an offensive sense.
Yeah.
And you just have somebody else pick him up defensively.
Yeah, because the problem is everyone shifted across one. So like Cochrane is where Kent should be. Kent is where Sibic should be. Sibic is where Lembikisa should be, and I don't know where Lembikisa is because he's not really involved in the move.
He's just hugging the touchline.
Yeah,
he's
just being like, guys, come on. Secondly, in terms of preventability, Craig Gordon saves that.
Oh God,
he just does.
Oh no,
just does.
This is you're going to spark some controversy in a
I just think he does. Here. I'll be honest. I think he saves both of them.
And I'll be honest, the cross comes from a deep area. It's not even like they've got down the byline and got a cross in. Like Callum Neuenhoff has been decent recently.
It has been great.
Come out and close him down at least.
Yeah, listen.
Like, we've seen what Luke McCowan can do. He's a good player.
Xander Clark is not the main person at fault here. And I am not saying that. Listen, I love Xander Clark, right? Love him. He's been, in terms of like a backup, could we have got anybody better who's come in?
Definitely not.
So this is not me just pushing my Craig Gordon agenda. But and it's like I don't think any other keeper in the league saves that header.
No,
Maybe
it's a great header.
maybe Butland, but I just have it in my heart. I'm like, Craig Gordon saves that header.
The maroon tinted spectacles are well and
Yep.
truly on
Well,
it
it's more just the
today.
Craig Gordon tinted spectacles, and I'm fully on board with it. Can we just ask a question? What was going on with the celebration?
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's a real beef that's beginning to emerge from Jordan McGee and Hearts, which I find strange
It's
because,
so
like,
weird.
we gave you the platform to play as a teenager. Like, would you have broken in at another Premiership club as a teenager?
And you then fucking repaid us by jumping up and catching a ball at
Oh my
Pataudry.
God, no, deal ever forget that. That is still one of the strangest goals I've ever seen Hearts
Yeah.
going to, like,
Yeah,
not
go on to
directly concede,
concede.
but
Yeah.
lead. Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really weird. Yeah, I don't know. He has it in for us, and it's as you say. Like, why does he only score against
I
us?
know. It's because we stopped him going to Juventus all those years ago. So
Yeah,
he's had it out for us.
yeah, exactly. I mean, things going to be so much different. He could have been settling down to some pasta as we speak in Turin
Exactly.
and just be fluent in Italian like Lewis Ferguson is, but
Yeah.
sadly not to be. No matter, Jordan. But Dundee were certainly looking to crank up the heat, having gone 1-0 up, and instantly try and look for a quick fire second. Lauren Shankly would clear one off the line. Michael Mellon looked to divert Jordan McGee's header from a Dundee corner. And then Mellon would receive from Lyle Cameron. The 21-year-old latches onto Toby Civic's clearance from a Dundee throw before flicking past Forrest, creates the space superbly, finds the centre forward, but his effort is straight at the Hearts keeper. You mentioned the kind of 5-10 minute spell right at the start. This was very much one of those sluggish spells where we just had to actually go in behind at the break, only by one, ride out the wave, just get to half time. If we can get back on level terms beforehand, great, but just ensure that this game doesn't race away from us before you know it.
That was the thing. I think literally about a minute before we conceded, Alan Forrest had quite a good chance in the box and didn't take it. And then we immediately conceded as a result of it. And it's one of those where it's like in this division, yeah, if you don't take your chances, anybody can put a goal past you. Never mind what I think is a good Dundee team with a lot
They
of,
are good.
yeah, like especially in
They
attacking senses.
they have every chance to finish top six,
Yeah,
100%.
totally. And it was very much right. Let's ride this wave out, be solid. But I actually think we did well. Obviously, there was a lot of talk beforehand about Sibic in particular because he's kind of coming in from the cold into a partnership. My worry was that Sibic has often not done as well in partnerships. He tends to do better on the right side of a three. But as I said before the game, if there's anybody who'll get him through it, it's Frankie Ken.
Without
And
doubt.
I thought Sibic did really well. I think we'll get to it. He perhaps could do better at the second goal we conceded, but generally, I thought Sibic got himself about well. He's again, you see his pace. Like he's a fast guy for a centre
Yeah.
half. It's crazy.
He's
But
got all the attributes, doesn't he,
I
Toby
know,
Civic?
I know.
It's just I don't know, maybe like a defensive awareness or like a concentration and an overall awareness. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not sure, but generally, I thought the defense did really well and Zander Clark to ride this out because I can't remember who it was. I believe it was Jamie on Twitter, who's often replying to us, was saying that he actually felt at half time because we only went in 1-0, he was like, we're going to turn this around, we're going to win this.
Yeah, and certainly toward the end of the first half, I said about kind of riding that wave, but we did create some opportunities toward the end of the first 45. Lauren Shanklin blazes an effort over the bar after he keeps a Hearts attack alive. Does so well to find
Yes,
Toby
yeah.
Civic on the deck and just nods it into his path before Yutaro Oda's looking to make things happen. Finds our number 9, but his effort skews off into the Dundee sport behind the goal. Alex Cochrane would receive the ball on halfway, feeding it to Alan Forrest on the left. Jordan McGee is the man looking to mark him. Forrest aiming to cut inside onto his favoured right foot, forces a save from Trevor Carson, which he nearly spills into Oda's path, but gathers at the second attempt. And then Alex Cochrane even has an effort at goal himself, slips as he shoots on the left-hand side, initially receiving from Forrest, but it's a strong stop from Trevor Carson in the Dundee goal. He's a good keeper. They've got a solid defensive unit, but as you say, McIver, we've got a couple game changers, and like people are looking to make things happen. It's not as though we instantly kind of I don't know. The heads didn't drop, and I think that's been a key characteristic of this Hearts team, certainly recently.
Someone characterized it on Twitter by saying Naismith's instilling a like old firm mentality in us, where it's
Yeah,
like we don't lose. We're not going to lose this. It doesn't matter what we need to do. We're going to get out of it. And it may be too simplistic a way of looking at it, but I can understand it because yeah, suddenly there just seems to be a renewed mindset from within the squad where panic doesn't seem to set in, which is really refreshing considering literally a year ago to the day, it felt like every time we concede, we'd be like, right, that's it. We're not going to be able to get back from this.
I think having somebody that we can hang our hat upon is just,
Yeah,
and maybe because as Hearts fans, we've not been too used to having this feeling for the best part of a quarter of a century.
yeah,
And now we've got somebody that, when the going gets tough, could potentially drag us out the shit
yeah, that's
and
very true.
pop up the goal or two. Behind at the break, albeit by that one goal. But what were you thinking heading into half time? Because, like I say, at least there was some encouraging signs towards the end of that first
As I
half.
say, I think I said at halftime, I was like, it's weird because I think we're actually playing quite well. We're just not taking chances, and Dundee took theirs. As you said, very to and fro, like a basketball game at points, and that then just went even further in the second half. But I was confident again, as you say. I just kind of was like, well, if we've performed like this and we're only 1-0 down, we it's now becoming like a meme, basically, that we are a second half team. So I was like, I, I now go into games going, we're going to score at least one here. So what does that mean?
And we'd hoped that second half Hearts would come out and turn up. However, they were pretty fortunate not to fall too behind as Owen Beck sends an inviting free kick towards the back post area. Club captain Joe Shaughnessy showing an interest for Dundee, but Lee Ashcroft blazes over as the hosts look to double their advantage. However, thankfully, that was not the case, and we would find an equaliser on 54 minutes. Frankie Kent's long diagonal looks for Lawrence Shankland, before Owen Beck heads into the path of Dexter Lembakisa. The Jamaican finds Shankland, who centres for Oda. They play a 1-2. Shankland receiving on the spin. He bobs, weaves, looks to get an effort away before Alan Forrest robs him of the ball and slides past Trevor Carson into the bottom corner. The Premiership Player of the Month has Hearts level.
I'm delighted for him. It was if he'd missed that, I think he would have been throttled by Shanklin. But listen,
And large
turnabout's
sections of the
yeah,
support.
exactly. Turnabout's fair play. Shanklin did it to Grant against Aberdeen. So this is just what we're apparently going to be doing now. We're just making our forwards get in good positions and the other one nicks it off them. Just great. It was very telling that the moment Dundee fans started shouting at Shankland and literally you see it in the highlight. It's like you hear boos start from nowhere, and Shankland like uses it as Popeye spinach and just goes, right, okay, I'm just gonna get us back into this game. Oda does well, but Shankland, it's all about Shankland's movement. And Forrest does it. Forrest actually, it's kind of been lost in all this. It's quite a good finish because he doesn't
It is.
like snatch at it or anything like that. He just goes, I just need to place this in the corner and it's going in. Buzzing for him, as you mentioned, delighted that he got Player of the Month. It's so deserved.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's been really good recently.
he's been so good. Deserves a contract. Deserves the goal. Deserves the award. And it was like, right, we're back in it. Don't do anything stupid, and we'll be fine.
However, it wasn't to be long before the hosts retook the lead. And as you say, McIver, I don't know if this is necessarily stupid. This is actually a really good goal. And
It is a
sometimes
really good
you
goal.
have to hold your hands
Yeah,
up and concede that you can see great goals. Owen Beck clips it up to Bakayoko, a nice touch to free Lyle Cameron, who exchanges a 1-2 with Michael Mellon. Their number 10 takes on Civic, who I think you're right, maybe could do a bit better.
just
Just as
go
I said
out.
to Callum Neuenhoff
Just
to
go
come out
out.
and commit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fails to do so. Lyle Cameron cuts inside, sends a thundering effort past Sander Clark, and it's Dundee 2, Heart of Midlothian 1, just on the hour mark.
It is a good goal. As you say, it is one of the moments where I was like, oh fuck, it's just a good counter attack. But I do think there is more we could do. Benny's kind of on his own. Grant and
Yeah,
Ewenhoff have just I mean,
weird.
it is a counter attack. So I do understand that. Grant and Neuenhoff are the more attacking of the three, so they're pushed up. But it did feel like Neuenhoff and Grant just then didn't run. So it's like, all right, okay. Listen, Lyle Cameron's a really good player.
You can see why we showed an interest,
Yeah.
but just frustrating that we didn't get that over the line.
And it's a very good hit. As I said, I still think Craig Gordon saves it, but I'm not blaming Clark because I say it's a good hit. It's a great hit. But you're just like,
Shut down.
yeah, it's like it's preventable. It's a very good goal, but it's preventable. However, again, there was a part of me that was like, we can absolutely get another one. I don't know if it's just because we did it against them so recently that I was
Yeah,
thinking of
maybe.
it, but I very much was thinking, right, we will get back in this. I didn't think we'd get back in it the way we did, but we did.
That's a great point. Had we not got the better of Dundee at Tynecastle, having come from 2 goals down, do we bounce back in this one? I don't think we
Yeah,
do.
I don't think we do either. But maybe like there is, as I was saying, there is just this mentality that Naismith seems to have instilled in the players, where it's like, no, we're going to get back in these games.
Do you know? I was thinking about this. Like Stephen Naismith came under criticism early on in the season, and we thought that maybe like an additional bit of support was necessary. I don't think I was ever Naismith out, but I think I thought that he could do with some help.
Mm-hmm.
But it's become very apparent that he does know what he's doing. It's
Yeah,
just trying to get everybody to buy into it and sort of requesting that little bit of patience and just trusting the process. Believe. I think a key thing for Hearts as well now that when I watch Hearts, I don't think we force the issue.
nah,
If it's not on, then that's fine.
yeah,
We'll go down another avenue. You watch Hearts, and I can't help but feel like Cochrane and Lembakisa are really involved, and I felt like this was the case last weekend as well. In terms of if we can get it up to the flanks or get a ball into the box, great. If we don't, then we just go along and try the other side.
yeah,
Sometimes we might persist down the right hand side or persist down the left, but you feel like it's going to happen through one of the flanks if we just keep at it.
totally.
And thankfully that did prove the case. Look, I'm not going to kid on like Dundee didn't have their chances as well. Owen Dodgson
Mm-hmm.
looked ahead home an own bet corner, looking to catch Clark out at his near post. Thankfully, his header hit the bar, and this proved pretty pivotal in the end. As on 77 minutes, Alex Cochrane's floated pass is headed clear by Owen Dodgson, but only as far as Lauren Shankland. He gets the better of Joe Shaughnessy, flicks over the Dundee skipper, and just as he looks to send a strike towards goal, Daniel McIver, Lee Ashcroft appears to handle in the area. I'm going to be honest. I know the positioning of the hand isn't great, but I think it's somewhat harsh given how close he is to the initial Shankland strike. I don't think that there's a lot that he can necessarily do. That being said, it's against Dundee. It's at Dens Park. I'm absolutely going to take it while we're in a trailing position.
I do not understand the controversy around this one. I think there is something he can do, not have his arm at a right angle. Like, it's totally different with the other hand, right? But the hand it hits is away from his body like that. Now, you might say it's a natural reaction to be putting your hands up to protect yourself, but welcome to the handball rule. Like, that's why it exists. I couldn't, but as it happened in real time, watching it, I was like, well, that's a penalty. There is no way that's not giving a penalty. And a big issue I had with Tony Docherty after the game was that he was like, here we are again speaking about VAR issues and all these things. My brother made an excellent point where he was like, if VAR isn't in that game, the same result stands because the ref gave it. It's not that
That's
VAR
true.
it's not like the ref went, no, it's out for a corner and stuff like that. And then VAR went, yeah, actually, we think by the rules. The ref was right in front of you and went, that's a penalty. And I don't think there is enough within the scope of obvious errors and stuff like that. I don't think there's enough to overrule it. I think you can clearly see that it hits the hand, and it's up the interpretation of the ref to give it. And I just like there's much more controversial calls over the last few days. I didn't understand why so much
Yeah.
attention was given to this one.
I just feel like it's what everybody craves though is consistency. And I'm interested to actually compare it to the St Johnstone game for that very reason. I think what is refreshing about this, and Kier's absolutely spot on, is that the referee made the call without consulting VAR in the first place.
Yeah.
So he's made that decision and not relied on the technology. Ever since VAR's come into Scottish football, the amount of officials that rely on the technology in order to make a decision, having initially made it and then they begin to question themselves, is remarkable. So that was refreshing. I grant you, but I don't know. I think had that been given against Hearts, I always try and put myself in the opposition fan's shoes. Had that been given against Hearts, I'd be fuming. Like
I'd be fuming at the defender. I think it would be a
I don't
penalty.
know.
We'll get to it later. I think we massively got away with something in the St Johnstone game.
Right. So then if that's one, then the other should be.
Yeah.
And you think both are?
I think they both should be given as penalties.
Okay. Okay. However, the more pressing point
I was more worried, to be honest, at this point.
George Grant was off the park.
He's away. He's gone.
So what happens? We're in unfamiliar territory whereby having scored a penalty against Aberdeen, which George Grant dispatched excellently, do we go back to Shankland? Does somebody else come in and take it? But after 3 consecutive penalties had failed to hit the net, it was the former Dundee United striker who would take to the spot and he would draw Hearts level, despite Trevor Carson's very best efforts
did it
to
hit
keep
the
it
net?
Well,
I didn't even get if it got
2-2.
that far.
And just over 10 minutes to go, courtesy maybe of a Carson hand, and it trickles in.
It's like the worst. It's a terrible height. Like
this is what's so annoying. Like better penalties he's missed.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's by a terrible height. What I mean is a great height for a goalie. Like it's a terrible height to hit it at. I hate his run up so much. It's so slow.
Yeah, it could be worse. At least he doesn't take a step like Bruno Fernandes or a Jorginho. I despise that so much.
I don't like it because I think it's really obvious how you save that. You just don't move until he picks a side. I don't understand why. Like, it would be different with Shankland.
But then you've got to leap
over
it in such a flash because they'll hit it with such a speed.
Pickford, isn't the stat that it's like Bruno Fernandes and Jorginho have both never scored a penalty against Pickford because Pickford just stands and waits until they do it. And then, well, Pickford saved Jorginho's in the Euros. He saved Bruno Fernandes. He's in a cup game. I think it's just a thing where Jordan Pickford's just been like, oh yeah, you just wait. And then they panic and go, shit, I'll just kind of kick it one direction.
And if he's saying that, he doesn't seem like the sharpest tool in the shed.
No, and he's got little wee arms. He's got tiny little arms. Yeah, so if he's managing to save them, buzzing for Shankland, obviously.
I'm as buzzing as I was relieved.
Yeah, because as soon as I saw it going in, I was like, he's fucking missed again. But no, we're fine. There was then really pathetic, like, bumping into him from Dundee players after it.
I think he's as guilty a party, but it's funny because he puts the ball in the goal again, and then Trevor Carson doesn't have any of it, and then 3 Dundee players kind of turn around as if they get involved, and they're just not having any of it.
My apart from the goal and the fact that we got drawn level, my highlight was new signing Scott Fraser trying to take it off Shankland, and Shankland look at him as if like, sorry, I didn't even ken your first name, mate. You've been here 3 minutes. What are you talking about? But I respect it. I fully respect it, Scott Fraser.
Is he creeping like higher on your favourite Hearts player list just for that moment alone?
For that one moment alone, he's beaten about half the squad.
One player that I've grown to develop a dislike for is Jordan McGee, and he would look to get Dundee back in front late on. Zach Robinson actually off the bench looked to be the hero after Owen Dodgson does well to intercept potential Hearts counter on halfway. They keep it alive after Macaulay Tate then fails to clear. McGee, Cameron, Bakayoko all involved. McGee's cross is a good one, but thankfully Zach Robinson misses an absolute sitter. It's a free header right in front of goal, in front of the Dundee support. He must be all of 5-6 yards out. A massive let off the hook, and I can see why Bakayoko is the only guaranteed starter for Dundee up front.
It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe they took Mellon off because I thought Mellon was actually doing well against us. I said at the time when I saw it, I think he just jumped too early, so he kind of met it in midair instead
He's
of being able
excited,
to
isn't
get.
he? I feel like
Yeah,
an excitement like
yeah.
gets the better of him, perhaps. I don't know.
But I think it was Joel Sked in the Heart Standard said it was like the two strikers. Oh no, it was Laurie. I think on Twitter was like the two strikers decided it. Robinson misses that chance, and then we go up the other end.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's the difference ultimately. And as you say, there was to be one final chance. Lembakisa heading Robinson's cross clear as Alan Forrest just smashes high into the air. An absolutely aimless ball, but a magnificent first touch from Lawrence Shankland takes himself away from Dodgson. It breaks to Kenneth Vargas off the bench, the Costa Rican, slipping it to Shankland, who cuts inside and just sends a wonderful effort into the bottom left-hand corner. Again, Trevor Carson is unfortunate to not keep it out, but it's beautifully guided towards goal. And second half Hearts doing what they do. Dundee 2, Heart of Midlothian 3, 49 goals, 78 games. What a player.
Obviously, in this game, he both equaled and broke Rudy's record for us.
Wow,
So,
really?
yeah,
I didn't
because
know that.
Rudy scored 48. So the penalty, he matched it. And that's everyone's saying that's
Jesus.
why he did Rudy's pointing
Oh, I
for the
love that.
49.
What a guy.
Because
First
people
it
are,
was Robbo at Easter
yeah,
Road.
and then he does
And
Fozzie on the
then,
fence
oh.
when he scored the New Year one. He goes like up on that, and now he's doing that. People are like, he's literally getting all our heroes. He's just doing that. Now,
You're
obviously,
tear out a glass eye, that.
another part of it was that he was like Shanklin 9 because he former Dundee United and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I was going to say, I don't know what the Dundee fans were so upset about.
Yeah, exactly. My two main points on this: the negative from Dundee. What is Shaughnessy doing? Why are you trying to close the angle? You know what he's going to do. Just run at him and stop, like, try and get a block in. He's like, I'll position myself in case there's a runner. If there is a runner, Shankland is not playing it to him. He is
No chance.
taking it himself. And
The,
just
the the gateway is opening for him to become the hero. As if
exactly.
beat it, Alan Forrest. You nicked that first goal off
Yeah,
me.
exactly. He could have had a hat trick as a result if it wasn't for Forrest. But it's a ridiculously good goal. I don't know which is better, this one or the one we'll get on to speaking about, but
I think the second, but carry
I
on.
think the second. But in terms of like the hold up play, he does, and to just as you said, create
Both,
half a yard of space. Both of them, yeah.
yeah, both
Um,
both are literally like the textbook hold up play. Like that could be used as a striker demonstration. It
yeah,
is that good in
yeah.
terms of a defender occupying you, getting your body like decent wee touches in and around them to flick it past them whilst the centre halves you're occupying their attention. He's just his hold up play is superb, so good. He doesn't even need to bring others into play. That's just if he
Yeah.
decides he chooses to. More often than not, he doesn't even need them. What a
Just
centre forward.
unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And yeah, we're just the best team in the world in the second half.
And it is funny.
It's
Dundee,
just great. How do
2
you
0 up at
consecutively
Tynecastle.
lose 3-2
Exactly.
in the span of
2-1
2
up at
weeks?
Dens. Absolutely superb.
Get out.
Magnificent. But a pivotal 3 points, and particularly when we spoke about around the grounds, Kilmarnock being held, albeit St Mirren beating Hibs, which was very amusing. A solid 3 points for us. And
I will
yeah,
say, final point on
more pivotal
Dundee.
points.
I agree with you. I can't believe how few games they've won in recent weeks. They're like one of my favorite teams to watch. They're really
Yeah,
good.
you spoke about might have been last season or the season before, certainly with Dundee United and us had those mental games. It seems
Yeah,
like Dundee have just taken that mantle on
yeah.
for United.
Whenever we
Any
go
any
to that
heart any
city, it's
yeah,
just
any
mental.
Hearts team from like a Hearts team taking on a team from Dundee is just goals galore.
And the good thing is, versus this lot, we don't have 85 injuries after every single
No,
game
that's
that we seem
true.
to get against United.
Yeah, the United thugs are thankfully well. I mean, they probably will come
They're
back
coming
up,
back
but
up.
but, but at least they'll be there for a couple months more.
Yeah.
But yes, thankfully 3 points in the City Discovery. And I thought about what the exact conversations that we had on the last podcast. I thought to myself, brilliant. I said I would be really not disappointed with 4 points. I'd be happy with 4 points, but I want the 6. Halfway there, as far as I was concerned, heading into a midweek match at McDiarmid Park, a venue which hasn't been too kind to us historically, but has been fairly recently, which
Yeah,
is
it's
nice.
weird. We've just flipped a switch, basically.
However, the match against Saints was a struggle, but before we talk about that, we're going to go around the grounds as the cinch has just been elevated to another level with various managers and dugouts, both coming into dugouts, leaving dugouts, and just goals galore. It's a great division, a league that I would never criticise. Andy Halliday's Motherwell spanked Ross County by 5 goals to 0, which spelt the end for Derek Adams in his third spell in charge. 10 weeks before he's back off down the road, probably begging Morecambe to take him back. An absolutely disastrous result for County as Motherwell. It was basically a 6-pointer. They've created some distance. I fancied Motherwell, but certainly not by 5 goals. The other midweek match on Tuesday night was a dugout debut for 75-year-old Neil Warnock as Aberdeen boss, and the lure of taking over at Ibrox was too good to turn down. However, unfortunately for Neil and his Dons team, they lost 2-1 to Rangers in Govan. And then Wednesday night, there was 4 fixtures. Obviously, our win against St Johnstone at McDiarmid. Kilmarnock also beating Livingston by a sole goal, leaving it late in that one, but grabbing the victory courtesy of Marley Watkins. St Mirren, again, another one of our top 5 Euro chasing rivals, I guess, getting the better of Dundee by 2 goals to 0 in Paisley, despite going down to 10 men late on. Tony Docherty simultaneously annoyed just as the weekend against Hearts as he was in Renfrewshire against Saints. And league leaders Celtic struggling to beat a struggling Hibernian 2-1 at Easter Road, doing so courtesy of 2 Adam Ida penalties, one at the very start and one at the very end. What did you make of the other 5 matches within the UK's best football league, McIver?
Is Derek Adams up there with the worst managerial appointment we've seen in our lifetimes?
There's a
Because
question.
he's ruined his reputation at a club that he's spent so much time at. He immediately came in and was just like, fuck yous all, I hate Scottish football, this team are shite. Then just kept getting beat by everybody, and publicly in that interview with Brian McLaughlin just goes, I'm probably chucking this. And then does.
After simultaneously getting what he wanted in the transfer market as well.
Yeah,
It's not even, it's
exactly.
like a good load of these were his players and they only lost 1-0 at Parkhead, yet you get battered 5-0 off Motherwell, who can't buy a win to save themselves.
Why is it apparently the job remit for Ross County to be the most unlikable prick in the world, by the way? And then they've completely changed that because Don Cowie's now interim manager. So I'm like, yes.
I know. What is he doing? Like, just
Don't
give it
take
to
it
Robson or
permanently,
something and
Don.
keep this mantle
Yeah,
going.
don't give it to them perfectly because I don't want to dislike Don Cowie.
No, I know.
But that was mental. And I just saw everybody on Twitter be like, we should have kept Halliday. That is not the lesson to learn from that game, okay? Let him have, he's clearly having a lovely time there. Fair play
Just
to
as he
him.
spoke on open goal about wanting to get more goals, there I saw the notification. I was at the Bonnie Gross game actually on Tuesday night, and I got the notification saying that Motherwell were 1-0 up. So I was thinking, oh, wonder if Halliday's played a part in that. And then it just saw it come up on football. I was like, oh, fair play, Andy boy.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Ha 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 at Neil Warnock losing his first game. Fuck you.
What about that appointment? Just talk about the appointment first and foremost. You're relieved in it. I
so
think it's
happy.
box office me. I'm a big fan.
Nah.
Huge fan.
I mean, I'm a fan because I think it's going to go badly. And I'm not a fan of Neil Warnock, so
Oh,
I'm
he's a
happy
hero,
went to-
mate. I'm not
Nah.
having it. He's a hero.
I've never got him. Like, I've never got the appeal of Neil Warnock at all.
You
I
need to
don't
watch that
care.
documentary with Sheffield United.
Yeah,
It's
I've seen it, and
so funny.
he's just the worst person in the
Oh
world.
no, it's funny.
I hate him. So I'm like, good. I hope this is a disaster and you beg it even into the top 6.
What are you thinking? Do you think he'll get it say it does go well? Could you see that? Or I think it's very much perfect for both parties and it'll do him for now. He's hit it himself. He's here to just have fun.
Yeah.
And Aberdeen, Alan Burrows and all that. Dave Cormack can look for yet another manager.
Yeah.
They've just seemed to have gone through absolutely everybody. So they got rid of Derek McInnes. They thought, we'll branch out, we'll head to the States. We've got the Aberdeen connection with Stephen Glass. He'll bring a sexy style of football. This will be great. Sacked. They then, who was after Stephen Glass? Jim Goodwin. They robbed a Premiership rival when he's doing a really good job at St Mirren. Wonder if we can give him that bit more money and he can work wonders at us. No. Pumped twice in Edinburgh and sandwiched by a loss to Darvel in the Scottish Cup in the space of 2 weeks. Sacked. They then gave it to Barry Robson, who went on a fluky run towards the end of last season, got Aberdeen into third, thus pipping us, and then forming the song of Hearts are falling apart again, to which now they're falling apart and we are cruising in third. Sacked. What is the route for Aberdeen now? You've tried everything. High press, a stodgy Premiership manager, and a young coach in his first proper gig. What is all this about?
I don't know. I think, but my prediction for this is that they'll get fifth. I think they'll get fifth. Yeah. And it'll be
expense?
At St Mirren's expense.
So you think Kelly are nailed on for top four?
Yes.
Interesting.
And they'll hail him as a hero despite it being a complete failure of a season. And fine. Rangers, I think, are winning the league now. I just think Rangers will win the league. Clement's just
Celtic were poor.
Celtic were terrible.
Really
let's get to that, because what are you talking about? That St Mirren can rock up and dispatch of this shambolic Hibs team, but Brendan Rodgers has this curse that he's never won at Easter Road until last night. And it's like,
mental,
that just was there.
That's that itself. Celtic's
crazy.
record at Easter Road is not good.
Nah.
I think I'd seen that they'd won 2 of their last 12, and both of those came under Ange Postecoglou.
That's mental.
Road.
That's insane. But again, Hibs. It's the funniest thing when they think they're about to get a result, and then right at the end,
how they didn't win that, or at least get a point.
Crazy.
I do not know. It's a great laugh.
Again, furthering my point of just going, how are Dundee not getting results? Like, I don't understand it, to be honest. I'm not gutted about it.
They're good in Paisley, though, aren't they?
Yeah, true. They are very good.
I had that treble on last night. Kelly, St Mirren, and Celtic.
Oh, did you?
Was sweating towards the end. Jesus, that Ida penalty. I've never celebrated a Celtic goal so much in my life. I felt so disgusted with myself.
Yeah. I was annoyed at the Kelly Livingston game because Livy go 1-0 up, but then it gets chalked off. And then we concede right at that. That's it.
Because I got that notification through. I was thinking, no way.
Yeah,
I was so conflicted. I'm like, this is great from a Hearts perspective. From my bank balances perspective, this is rotten. What is that?
But yeah, Kelly I just can't see anybody else finishing fourth, to be honest.
Big signings they made as well now for depth in it. Greg Stewart, Kevin Van Veen.
If Van Veen gets them even like 7 goals, I think they'll get fourth.
Because they're another couple who have got game changers in the final third year. Danny Armstrong's.
Yeah.
I like Big Vassell, Watkins, whoever. I think they're nailed on for top 6. Definitely Kelly.
Yeah,
it just depends on how high they finish up.
So and then it was left for us.
It was. And we made 3 changes from the side that nicked the 5-goal thriller with Dundee at Dens. Stephen Kingsley returning from illness, Scott Fraser making his first start for Hearts, and Kenneth Vargas coming in. Out dropped Toby Civic, George Grant and Yutaro Oda, all of whom were sat on the bench alongside the returning Cammy Devlin. That meant that Hearts lined up as follows in a 4-2-3-1 once again. Xander Clark in goal, Dexter Lembakisa, Frankie Kent, Stephen Kingsley and Alex Cochrane as the back 4. Callum Neuenhoff and Benny Beningame again sat in front of that back 4. Kenneth Vargas on the right, Alan Forrest on the left, and Scott Fraser looking to support Lawrence Shankland. What were your thoughts with regards to the 3 changes?
It is the exact team I wanted to start.
Nice.
To the letter, the exact team. So I was chuffed. Scott Fraser.
Why is that, McIver? Sorry, because Kingsley will obviously come back in for that defensive stability. The back 4 pretty much has picked itself. Vargas, are you Vargas over Oda at present? And Scott Fraser, you wanted to see get a chance?
And I was like, oh, okay, well, Grant didn't have an amazing game against Dundee. So it's like low risk, chuck him in for this, see what he can do. So I was just like, this is a sensible lineup. I think it's the best that we currently have.
Do you think we'll play the same again Sunday?
I hope so. I hope we just go full strength, same formation, get this done. Naismith post-match to Hearts TV was saying that they're not taking Airdrie lightly at all. They're taking
No,
them as if they would
absolutely
prepare
not.
for any other
That's got all
game.
the hallmarks of a cup set. If so,
Yep, exactly. So yeah, very much. I would if that exact same starting 11 started, I'd be happy.
now I'm conscious for time, and thankfully this podcast is marching on. Because this game was
Because
really
nothing happened.
rubbish. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you want to talk about. Do you want to talk about solely the goal, and we'll look at the cup and all the other
Aye,
games
fuck
within
it.
the
We'll
Scottish
speak
Cup
about the goal and then the. Well, I've already said I think
and
we get
the two
away.
instants?
I think we get
Yes.
away with a penalty. I think it's a handball for
Yeah.
Cochrane.
Yeah. I mean, first half. I'm just looking through my notes.
Nothing
I mean,
happened.
it really was poor.
Cochrane got halved, and that was it.
Cochrane did get halved.
And that was
I don't
literally
even.
it.
I genuinely think St Johnstone had one chance, and that was the boy Kimpioka looking to come forward, latching onto a Graham Carey clip, denied by a super slide from Stephen Kingsley. But in terms of
Yeah, it
us,
was.
we had Kingsley's effort on the angle. Yeah, not really a big chance. Shanklin curling one at the box, but can't quite find Forrest.
I don't think they played
Vargas
bad, by the
get
way.
his header. No, I just feel like St Johnstone
Just
were pretty well
nothing
organised
happened. Yeah.
and knew exactly what to do in terms of trying to cope with their defensive threat. But thankfully, 54 minutes. I mean, this is what's nice, because you would gladly forget about this fixture, but now we can't really because of such a groundbreaking moment.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm running out of superlatives for that guy. I love him so much. Frankie Kent's long ball forward, touchdown by Lawrence Shankland, who spins away from Andy Considine, pokes past Ryan McGowan, and coolly slots past the onrushing Dimitar Mitov. We had the breakthrough, courtesy of who else but Lawrence Shankland. 50 goals for Heart Midlothian Football Club in 79 matches in esteemed company.
He said that he didn't even realise it was his 50th goal.
I'm not buying
He was like, I didn't realise it was until I looked up and George Grant shouted over to me. And you see him in the video.
that. Well, if he's paid homage to Rudy in the previous game, then he knows that he's 2 away.
Aye, but that is true. That is true. So maybe he's
I'm not buying that, mate.
Fair
He
play.
knows.
I never even thought of
That's just to get a wee thank you to the fans and
Fair play.
probably. What a guy, if so, because I didn't fancy that trip up to Perth on a Wednesday night. No, thank you.
It's a ridiculous goal.
Oh,
It's unbelievable. When have we ever had a player that scores that like that?
never.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think
This is
we
why
have.
you're enjoying it.
Yeah, like it's just crazy. So buzzing. 50 and 79 for anyone in the even if
What
that
a
was a
record
Celtic
that is.
player, you'd be like, that's
No.
amazing, fair play. To do it as
Yeah,
a
it's
Hearts player
arguably
is
more
ridiculous.
impressive as a Hearts player.
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely.
I was just going to have a look and see the esteemed company that he's in, because obviously now 50 goals. So the 9th quickest to reach 50 goals in 79 games, only bettered by Archie Garrett in 39, Barney Battles Jr. in 50, David McCulloch in 55, Willie Bald in 58, Archie Kelly in 61, Jock White in 67, Percy Dawson in 69, and Andy Black in 74.
Barney Battles and Willie Bald were the two. Well, I knew obviously about Bald because Shankland's the fastest to do it since Bald. I just assumed Barney Battles would be in it because of that one season and stuff like that.
So since 1950
50.
is the latest date,
Yeah.
out the previous 8.
74
Willie Bald.
years.
Unbelievable. Only our third player this millennium to have hit 50 goals as well, which is
it's unbelievable.
crazy.
What a
Absolutely.
guy.
I love him so much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so heartbroken.
I'd rather lose him for free in
Yeah.
18 months. I don't want to sell him next year. I don't care. I don't care if unless we got offered 10 million, I'd be like, no, I don't give a shit. Just keep him. He can sign a pre-contract with whoever the fuck he wants.
Record sale, would you not be happy? You've spoken about your love for Craig Gordon. That would be a record shattered.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I don't want it to happen, because I want Gordon to have that.
That's my point. Exactly.
Yeah.
You're that cynical that you would do that. You're angling for 8.5. If somebody came in with 10 and somebody else came in with 8.5, you go 8.5.
Go with that. Go with that. It's fine. Even if somebody came in for 50 million, a mad Saudi Arabian team, it's like, no, 8, please. But yeah, Cochrane we should have conceded a penalty.
Yeah. I also want to ask as well, because this was nuts. On 72 minutes, there's another incident that I want to speak about.
I have no idea what happens here.
Lawrence Shankland looks to set Kenneth Vargas free, to hopefully go on and seal the deal, right? No qualms about that. However, he's adjudged to be offside,
Yeah.
and Ryan McGowan is given a yellow card for wiping him out.
See, I don't think he's given a yellow card for wiping him out.
You
I
think
think
it's for
he's
what he
given.
said?
I think it's for dissent because there's a moment when the ref is waiting for
Interesting.
VR that you see his head whip round and look at McGowan as if like, right, hold on. It doesn't matter what I'm about to get told here. You're getting booked for what you just said.
Well, coming on to speak about that is Ryan McGowan. Here you go. No, sadly we can't
that's
get
the other
can't get
law.
Gowser on.
That's the
Yeah.
other law.
I did feel like messaging him, but then I thought I'll wait.
It's a bit sore than now,
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
You learn over time that you just don't want to irk these people in case you need a favor. So yeah, okay. So you think he was booked for that? Because I was going to say it's either offside and nothing, or onside
And a red.
and surely a red.
Yeah, exactly. He just kicks him.
Goal.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. Listen, I might be wrong, but it's just my interpretation of it. I just thought it was for dissent because I can't really explain it any other way.
No, I honestly, I thought to myself, are they making it up as they go along here? Like, what is happening? What am I watching with my eyes?
No clue.
Crazy. And the Cochrane incident, I can't remember how it happened. I just remember thinking, oh,
I think it's a corner and it got played out and then shot back towards goal.
Massive fan of Hearts TV dragging out the highlights for this game to firstly 12 minutes and just not including the Cochrane bit because why would we give them ammunition?
Aye.
So yeah, a sole goal success over St Johnstone, now 6 in a row.
A very professional performance, I feel.
And they say it's a sign of a good team when you win, when not necessarily at your best. That's another 3 pivotal points, McIver. We'll take those all day. And like I say, the first time that we've won 6 on the spin against an opponent in the top flight since Inverness Cally Thistle in 2010.
I knew it was 2010. I didn't know it was Inverness.
Unbelievable that.
We're just.
I think that's 4 clean sheets in that 6 games as well.
Yeah, I think so. It is as well. Aye. We're just. The one thing that's irked me during this kind of past couple of weeks is the implication that we're not actually a good team. No, we are. You cannot go on the run that we've been on and not be a good team because it's not like it's not like 11 games unbeaten in all competitions and it's something like out of the last 45 points we've taken 37. It's not like, we're 11 unbeaten but 8 of them are draws. It's like, no, the majority of them are wins. We've barely drawn this season. Like,
it is like Hibs and their golden record of the Derby in the late 2010s.
Exactly. Like, we are a good side. We're a very good side, actually. Yeah. It's great.
Long may it continue. Match winners in the final third. That's what we're all about.
It'll continue until Sunday. Where we'll fuck it.
Well, I hope that we're up for the Cup as the Scottish Cup returns this weekend, the 5th round. I'm going to go through each and every Cup game because I feel like we might disagree on. I think there might be a couple Cup sets in here. Right. I hope for our sake that we're not one of them and are very much in the hat. Prior to our game being played, what's all that about as well?
It's the most tin pot thing ever.
That's surely to just entice people to try and watch Airdrie Hearts.
Yeah, exactly.
Because not many that aren't Jambos
surely
or
do it
Diamonds
at half time then. Do it at half time.
But even then, imagine Stephen Naismith trying to conduct his halftime team talk. Gaffer!
Somebody runs in.
Gaffer! Rangers at Ibrox.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, so that'll probably affect your team talk.
So I don't know. It's absolutely bizarre. But I'm assuming that this episode will be released Friday the 9th. Tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, just in time for Greenock Morton taking on Motherwell at Capello. Your prediction for that one, McIver?
I think Motherwell will go through.
Okay. I noticed how you just said gone through in the 90 minutes or penalties or...
Oh, God, aye. It doesn't go to replay and shit. I think Motherwell will go through in extra time.
Extra time, okay. I think that could go the distance. Do I? Yeah, Morton are on a really good run just now.
That's what I mean. If Morton were normal Morton, I'd be like, it's Motherwell. But they're on a good run. George Oakley's smashing it.
I'll go Morton after extra time.
Oh,
there, said it. Saturday the 10th of February, Aberdeen against Bonnyrigg Rose. What a tie that is for the Rosy Posy.
Aberdeen will win that in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I agree with that. Inverness Caledonian Thistle hosting Hibernian in the Highlands.
I'm going to do what I always do with Hibs in cup games, predict them to win, and then they never do. So I'm going to predict
Nice.
Hibs to comfortably win inside 90 minutes.
I'm backing Big Duncan the boys. You can do it. I believe in you.
Come
Get
on.
them out. Get them out. Kilmarnock taking on Cove Rangers at Rugby Park.
Kelly will win that in 90 minutes.
Kelly all day. Partick Thistle hosting Livingston at Firhill.
Partick Thistle will win that in 90 minutes.
I agree with you.
Yep.
I can see, yeah. I think Livy will want that badly for the dough. Martindale will want that sweet moolah, but it just ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Scott Brown's Ayr United travelling to Rangers.
Rangers in 90 minutes.
Sure. Warm welcome, I'm sure, and an absolute scudding to boot, no doubt.
Yep.
Sunday, the 11th of February, St Mirren Celtic.
Celtic on pens.
Oh! I want to say St Mirren, and that's horrible. I can't believe I'm uttering those words. But
No, but yeah, every Hearts fan will want St Mirren to win that.
I think Celtic will do it in extra time, you know. Could say
Yeah.
like a one each. And then us, Airdrie. What's your thoughts?
Us after extra time.
Wow, you think we'll get taken to extra time?
I think we'll get taken extra time, aye. And there'll be a massive fucking hoopla.
Meltdown.
There was fucking at the Dundee game, folk booed them off. Some folk actually booed the team off 1-0 down at Dens. What are these doing? Calm down. For the love of God.
What are you thinking? One each? No.
I think one each exactly. I think Shankland will score and then we'll have a bit of fucking meltdown at the back.
Podorov in it.
And yeah, and just absolutely. And then Alan Forrest will score.
Alan Forrest
In
nice.
extra time.
Specific goal scorer.
I know. I don't know why I went that specific with him, but that's what I think will happen.
I'm going to go Hearts by a couple of goals.
I hope you're right. I'm excited
either,
to go.
Either a 2-0 or 3-1.
I'll take either of them happily. Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to Airdrie's ground.
The only time I have been was our school reaching the Scottish Cup final, and one of my best mates scored as they won on pens. But I've never taken a professional, with all due respect, a professional game in there.
This is the big time now.
Yeah, the big time in Airdrie. That's it. I'm just thinking for the boys coming back from Australia. Imagine like the devastation that Kai Rolls and Natty Atkinson will feel at Australia having lost to South Korea in that Asian Cup, and then your first game back for Hearts.
Don't worry, lads. You're going to Airdrie. It's fine.
You just say to the gaffer, listen, just put me back in for the next league game. I'm not remotely arsed.
Yeah, 100%.
Poor souls. No matter. The end is near. Let's do the quiz.
Cool.
I have a true or false. The other three I've just left to open answers. We've got no multiple choice.
Oh, fuck
and I've got who am I? There's nothing too major.
Right.
I'll give you it within reason.
Right.
First question. Hearts scored 3 goals to hand them 3 points at Dens Park. But when was the last time the Jambos netted 3 goals on the road, which resulted in a league victory?
Oh. Was it this season? Try to remember who. So we beat St Johnstone 2-0 and 1-0. We beat Celtic 2-0. That's still a mental sentence to say. That's still crazy.
We won at Park.
Yeah. Beat Hibs 1-0. Got beat by Rangers. Won at Livy 2-0. I don't think it would be this season. Was it when we last went? Oh, I can't tell you the exact game. I think it was at Tannadice. Was it at Dundee United?
Is that your answer?
Yeah.
Danny McIver, it was a trip to Tayside, but it was beating St Johnstone at McDermott Park back in December 2022. St Johnstone 2, Heart Midlothian 3. I couldn't believe that when I read
the Barry
that.
Mackay goal
The Barry
one.
Mackay.
Ah, fuck.
That's mad though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, so fuck's sake.
that.
So there's a high chance it could have been Dundee United, but that was more recent. Because I was like, I swear we beat Dundee United like 4-1 or something at Tannadice.
Yeah, or
3-0 or something.
Yeah, maybe. No,
Can't mind.
Anyway, that wasn't the answer. Let's move on. Second question. I spoke about Owen Beck Potential Alex Cochrane replacement, maybe. Don't know.
We're not getting Owen back. We're getting James Penrice,
Although,
and you'll be happy about it.
listen, Klopp might be sound.
He's
He
away.
obviously doesn't like Celtic.
Yeah, but Klopp will be away. We're not dealing with Klopp anymore.
Oh, true. FSG. Xabi Alonso.
Yeah,
Xabi Alonso.
Be sound.
Owen Beck is re-signed for Dundee on loan from Liverpool. True or false? The young Welshman is related to Reds legend Ian Rush.
What a random fucking question. I'm going to say true because that seems. If you've just made that up, you've got too much time in your hands.
Sadly, it is true.
Yeah.
Yes. It's that obscure that it's
Yeah,
true.
it was like, why would you have done? Are you just going? There's a Welshness, a general Welshness.
I couldn't think of any other Welsh players that played for Liverpool. I was going to do somebody else.
Thingy. What's he played for Stoke? Joe Allen.
Joe.
Should have done
Is your
that.
younger
Is
cousin.
Owen Beck related to Joe Allen?
Owen Beck is Ian Rush's great nephew. There you go.
Wow.
There's random bit of trivia. Don't know how I first saw that, but yeah, that was random. So yeah, you're 1 from 2.
Come on.
Decent start. After winning at Dens Park, Hearts made it 4 league victories away from home. You can tell that I did a lot of them after the Dundee game and just didn't bother about the St Johnstone game. Made it 4 league victories away from home in a row for the first time since the 2010-11 season. Who are the 2 teams that we beat away from home that season who aren't currently in the top tier? So I'm going to give you some guesses.
Right.
You've got 2 to get, but you can guess within reason. Let's go for 5. I'll give you 5 chances.
10-11. We're Inverness still in that fucking league.
Great shout. So there's one of your 2, and you've got another.
So who aren't in the league anymore? Were Falkirk kicking about then?
You go with Falkirk?
I kind of want to try and get it in too. So I've stuck with it. Right, Dunfermline won in the league by that point. Was Dundee United kicking about then? Yes, they definitely were. It was that Dundee United team. It was Chief G, Christian Robertson and all that pattern. The lover of Scots abroad, Ryan Gold.
Scots abroad are obsessed with Ryan Gold.
Yeah, they love Ryan Gold.
They want to get over there.
Yeah, boy.
Who can blame them?
I'm going to go with Falkirk.
Incorrect. That's 1 life gone.
Dundee United.
We're in the top tier, but we didn't beat them away from home.
Shit. Right. Yeah, we wouldn't have beat that team. Chief G was just running wild against us. Right, I've used 3 lives.
So you've got 2, within 2 to get.
Aren't in this. Who the fuck? Right. Wraith. It's no Wraith. It's no Airdrie. It's no Morton. Did I say Dunfermline?
You didn't?
I think Dunfermline were in the top 5 in 2010. Who else is like fucking obvious that folk are going to be screaming at me for missing? Because I'm trying to think, like, I feel like Dunfermline's the only other obvious one. I'll go with Dunfermline.
Dunfermline dropped out of the top tier in 2012, but they weren't in the top tier for the 10-11
Fucking hell, they were in it until 2012. Fair play, Dunfermline. I fucking hate you.
I think it was 2012.
I mean, you're probably more right than me. Decade anything.
I'm gonna have a search.
See, this is what this is cruelly exposing is my lack of knowledge about other Scottish teams before 2015, where I just for the first like 20 years of my life I just cared about Hearts. Right,
I know my stuff. 2012, not bad.
It's no like Montrose. Who
else? That division.
I didn't even care what division Montrose are in, mate. I'm going to guess League One. Is that right? Is that
might be honest something there?
Who the fuck else is in League One? I could just think of Falkirk. I can think of only Falkirk as a big team in League One.
I'm trying to be history for you, mate.
Who's at the collapse? Who's at the collapse that was in the top flight a decade and a bit ago? I mean, in fairness, it's a long time ago.
It is a long time ago.
Like, nearly a decade and a half. I can't think of a single other big team. by a big team, I mean like a team that would be in the top flight.
I was going to say, I wouldn't class these lots big.
Who would be in the Hamilton?
Yes!
Yes! When you went, I wouldn't have classed this lot as a big team. I was like, who's shite? Fucking
I wanted to
Hamilton.
say this is what like Livingston were before Livingston.
Right. Yeah. Hamilton.
Yes,
Fucking get in.
Aki's in Inverness. So I think we beat Aki's twice away that season.
Right.
I remember the second game of the season, we won 4-0 there. Kevin Kyle scoring his first Hearts goal after a
Wow.
Callum Elliott brace and David Templeton. And yes, February 2011, we
Wow.
won 2-0 at New Douglas Park. And it was a Stephen Elliott brace. There you
Fair
go.
play. Fair play, slaves.
A victory at Inverness. Coincidentally, they held us at Tynecastle Inverness, but we won 3-1 up there in September 2010. And Chris Innes' own goal equalised for us after Eric Odhiambo put Inverness in front.
The famous.
And then Ryan Stevenson got his first Hearts goal as well, I think, and then Callum Elliott. So there you are. But
Chuffed I got that.
Held us at Tynecastle. That was good. Good bit of knowledge there.
For a lot of folk, that'll be really obvious. But it's for someone who didn't even know Hamilton were in the top flight up until that point, I'm chuffed with myself.
To be fair, I can see your logic with your guesses, Dunfermline, Falkirk, teams that you would generally assume were in the top tier. But yeah, there you go. Aki's and Inverness.
Also, just learned that Montrose are in League One, so that's fun.
As far as I'm aware, I don't want to get that wrong. Might be embarrassing myself through here. Right. Question number 4. Hearts head through West to take on Airdrie in the Scottish Cup, having previously met the Diamonds in the competition back in 2020 under Daniel Stendhal, who is the only current first-team player to be amongst the 5 scorers against the then League One outfit.
From our team?
Yes.
Craig Halkett.
Correct. Other goals from, have a guess? You know?
Did Michael Smith score?
He did not.
Fuck, I thought I won money in that game. Steve McLean.
No.
What? McLean didn't score? Fuck me, he was shite. 2020. Machino?
No.
Who else? Jake Mulroney.
No, I'm going to have a look and see who played for us that day.
What is going on? What the fuck is happening? Did Halkett score as well as...
Halkett added the 5th.
Halkett scored the 5th. Who else did we have at this point? Craig White? No, he didn't play under Stendhal. Stephen Naismith?
Stephen Naismith scored the 3rd goal, yes. Right. Very good.
Oliver Bozanic?
No, didn't play.
Shit.
Or didn't start. Who else did you say started? Michael Smith?
Michael Smith.
Ollie Bozanic actually came on for Michael Smith in that game.
Right, fair enough. I said McLean.
Yeah, didn't start.
Lewis Moore?
Good guess, but no.
Fuck. Ewan Henderson?
Scored the 4th, so you've got the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So
who the fuck scored the
Henderson
first 2?
And Halkett.
I feel like I've named everybody that played at that point. This isn't even the fucking who am I?
I know, but it's fun. It's good knowledge.
Oh, fuck. Who else was playing in that?
We're providing an education
team
for our listeners, not just listening to our shite.
Who was left back at this point? It was somebody shite because we never had a good left back.
No, our left back was top and is continuing to be top.
Oh.
But he didn't score.
Oh, well, who was it?
Might want to go to the other side.
I assumed that was Michael Smith.
As would I, but according to the BBC, he played in centre mid this game.
No, he fucking didn't. If it's the BBC, he fucking... No, he didn't.
No, this player did feature at right back.
All right, okay. For Stendhal, that isn't Sibic. Because he had glandular fever at this point. That's genuinely true. Why do I know that? But I don't know who fucking scored the first 2 goals. I'm never going to get the right back. Who was it?
So Andy Irving scored the opener.
Oh my God.
I believe it was a free kick that just trickled through. My memory serves. I went to this game.
So did I.
I think it was a free kick that trickled all the way through. Sean Clare grabbed the 2nd goal. Stephen Naismith and Ewan Henderson before Craig Halkett added the 5th. So there you are.
What
You've
a different
really
time.
well on this quiz.
I'm buzzing with this.
You've done well. That's three out of 4, and you gave it a decent effort at a question that wasn't even the quiz question.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just showing off now as I fail in the Who Am I.
I'm worried that we've done the Who Am I. I don't think we have. I think I've left them on the list to do them. And today I was intended to do it. I thought, this is it. Today's the day. I'm going to go through from episode 90 or whenever it was, note down each and every Who Am I.
we need to do that.
Then I had a look at my YouTube watch later, and the James Madison with Stephen Hendry's few tips came up. And
That's the reason.
I thought, yeah, I'm going to pass this up.
At least my excuse was I was at work.
I was just laying in bed before I started prepping for the pod. Wow,
Shocking.
Easy for me to say. I thought, yeah, I'll watch that with Madsen and Hendry. Really good episode. I would thoroughly recommend. Who am I? Anyway, you ready?
I'm ready.
I joined the Jambos after being scouted by a former Hearts player who also played in the same area of the park as I did. I scored just once in the league for HMFC in a derby victory against Hibs at Tynecastle. I left Edinburgh to play in England, going on to represent 3 clubs who are currently in the English Championship promotion picture. I've since become a manager, recording a win percentage of 58.11% in my first job, where I managed a player who would go on to sign for Hearts and later became the first gaffer from my nation in a top 5 league. Who am I?
Right, I have 2 names in my head immediately. Okay. I'm thinking, I think Norbo scored more goals than that. Did you say, was that clue scored 1 goal ever and it was in a derby win?
I scored just once in the league for HMFC.
Oh.
Excuse me. In a derby victory against Hibs at Tynecastle.
So he could have scored another ones. My logic is Craig Levein scouted him centre-half for centre-half. He went on to become a manager. I can't remember who he managed, though, so he might not have got into the top 5 leagues, but I feel like he was in France somewhere. Okay. The only way I can do this, though, is to narrow down. So between what seasons did he play for Hearts?
This man signed for Hearts in July 2003.
Oh, it could be
left in April 2005.
It very much could be Norbo. I think that's roughly the time. There's no point in acting the clubs because, again, this is the time period where I definitely fucking pay attention to who goes where. However, I think this will be the first time this question's ever been asked in Who Am I? Can you name the clubs he's managed? Because if you say a French club, I'm just going Norbo.
Okay. Melbourne City Youth, Melbourne City Women, Melbourne City, Troyes.
Right. Surely, for the love of God, loads of Australian lots and a French team. Is it Patrick Norbo?
McIver, I made this question too easy. It's Patrick Norbo.
I don't think we've done Norbo.
I don't think so either. I just thought I'll get him out of the way and I'll try and be nice in the hope that you'll be nice next leg. But because I know who
who's
it? By the way, Steve Boyack or something. Still haunts me.
I know who I'm doing for you, and it's someone within the last 6 years.
Wow, interesting.
I'm giving you that for free.
Thanks very much. But yes, there you are.
I'm chuffed with that. I can't remember. Let us know if we have done Patrick Norbo. If you remember that.
Like I say, I need to go through them all.
We need to actually do that and get it sorted.
But yeah, the clues, like I was toiling, and then like
that's
I'm
fair.
glad you didn't ask the clubs.
I will say,
bogging.
I didn't know that stat. They only scored 1 league goal for us. I would have assumed he scored
surprised.
a couple.
I thought he just scored more than that.
Yeah,
because he scored in Europe, didn't he?
Yeah,
Braga.
Yeah. So I was just like, he was a goal scoring centre half.
Yeah, scoring his only league goal in a 2-1 win over Hibs on the 24th of October 2004. There you are.
Fair play.
I kind of want to see the report and see who else scored that day.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it. Oh, no, not the Hibs website. As if it's going to keep that.
Oh, this is a disaster. I will say also, we kind of forgot to mention it, but I'm just going to mention it now. Craig Gordon signed a year extension.
Yes, just as we came on air.
Yeah,
thanks,
just
thanks for saving my skin. I was meaning to go over that. That's nice.
Yeah, until summer of 2025.
Great news.
Well in CG.
Great news. Oh, right. The goal scorers that day. Wow. So Norbo gave us the lead.
All right.
Joe Hamill, whose cross set up the opening goal, flicked home across from substitute striker Ramon Pereira to put Hearts 2 ahead after the break. Hibs struck back with a superb Derek Riordan volley in the dying
My guess was going to be, is it Riordan who scored?
That's mental. So yeah,
fair play.
Paddy Norbo, he's not managing Troyes anymore.
No, he's not, but
There you go.
Buzzing with that. Let us know if you did get Patrick Snorbo, and let us know if you did enjoy this. We hope you did. A different time for us releasing an episode, but we wanted to get one out before the Airdrie game. So we hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please let us know with a review on your podcast platform of choice. It massively helps us out. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials, perthtopaisley@gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you on all the socials?
You can catch me watching the best bits from Hearts UEFA Cup campaign, featuring the likes of Schalke, Ferencvaros, and Braga. At Adam T. Kendall. What about yourself, mate?
You can get me at dmcIver22. We'll be back next week at the normal time to discuss the Airdrie game, any other fallout that's happened between now and then, and preview the Motherwell game. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hearts!